Hey, let's go.
Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. Now, first things first, what I want to say is I am so happy that the devs have nerfed the headshot damage on the sharpshooter for assault rifles, and now it only works on marksman rifles. Why am I happy about this? Well, no more 66 million DPS clickbait raid builds exist, because all these PC players were doing was just beaming the heads of the targets in the base, and then just, you know, saying it was like 66 million DPS or whatever it was. I don't know, obviously I'm exaggerating, but you know, none of that anymore, and it feels really good. It's so unrealistic when you bring DPS into it, because you're gonna miss shots. So I'm sure you know me by now, and I'm a straight talking guy, and I will tell you if something is trash. I will not bullshit you. I'm here to help you, and honestly, I love this build. I absolutely love this build. I don't see myself as the most avid PvE player, but I've been playing it a lot more recently because of this build, and it is definitely, I don't say this very often, but it's the best build I have made in a long time, and it hits so hard. So let's jump straight into the build. So as you can see in the background, I've got the fire, because this build is absolute fire. Now from the left, you can see it's a little bit different to what I normally do. It's 8, 11, 0, and you might be thinking, oh, no skill power, that's a bit of a problem. Not really. So we've got just under 300k armor. We've actually got some nice health. We've got 122k, and then we've got 0 skill power. Now I've ran the raid. I've only just recently I've had this build for about a week and a half, and I've completed the raid twice with this build. So the 2 times I've run it with this build, I've completed it. And after running the raid over 10 times, you know, you begin to learn what's good in the raid and what's not. And I can tell you now that there's people who've asked me what talents, what would you recommend in the raid, blah blah blah. Now, Unbreakable, stop running berserk. You're not doing your team any favours. You know, you're wasting your teammates' revives. Unbreakable is key for the raid. And patience, if you're not running patience, don't even go there. That is what keeps me alive. The survivability of this build, you might think 0 skill power. This build with the patience, because you're always in cover, and then I've got the Unbreakable on the chest, keeps me alive so much. Let me just show you a screenshot. I tested this build in Tidal Basin on Heroic. Now, I know it's not the hardest thing to do, but I matchmate, then I joined a random group, and they actually had a head start, so they had a few more kills than me, and I ran it with them, and I'll just show you the results now. So this is the screenshot from Tidal Basin, and I'm not here to gloat and say it's the best, you know, run ever. Literally, like I said earlier, I was enjoying myself, because well, this is the first time I've ran Tidal Basin on Heroic, so I kind of forgot what the mission was like, so I was just enjoying myself, and I joined late. I mean, maybe they were 25% into the mission when I joined. I think someone left, so I must have joined and took their place. Now, what I'm trying to show here is you can see me on the very end there, number 4, and look at the damage that I dealt. And these other guys had PvE builds. You know, I inspected all the builds, and like the second guy there, the Hellas, I don't know how you pronounce his name, you can see he done like nearly 7 million skill damage. He was running like a skill healer build. He had really nice heals. I've got 0 skill power. 0 skill power. Look at my deaths. No deaths, because patience, Unbreakable, it keeps you alive. It's all about damage. If you just look at the, you know, the damage dealt to named enemies, I done like 15.5 million damage. You know, these guys aren't even close. You've got 2 million, 3 million, 7 million. this build hits so hard. Now, like I said, I'm not showing you this picture to say I'm the best in the world at PvE, because I'm definitely not. But don't let the 0 skill power put you off. I'm experienced in raid runs, and it's all about the damage. You know, what you'll find with the raid bosses and the phases, the less damage you do, the more of a weakness you are for your squad. And the longer them phases go on, because you're not putting enough damage out, the more likely you are to fail them. A lot of them are timed, and you need to get that damage in fast. And that's what it's all about. Like I say, I've been there with 400k armor, and it just gets wiped so fast because they hit that hard. But that's just an example of Tidal Basin. 103 kills. It was quite a nice run, so I just thought I'd screenshot it and show you an example of how hard this build really hits. Back to the build. Right. Starting at the top, we're going to have the P416, and it's 26.6k. Hits like a truck. Now, as you can see, I've got Optimist on it at the moment. Now, that was my biggest fear in this build, because Optimist is the best talent on an assault rifle. Hands down, it's the best talent on an assault rifle. So I was worried, because I knew that if I wanted to make an all-out, hard-hitting build, that I was going to lose Optimist. But there was something that I've been sleeping on, and that's this Ranger. So as you can see, this assault rifle doesn't do quite as much damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll Ranger onto this assault rifle. Now, the thing with Ranger, why I was sleeping on it so much, and I shouldn't have, was when you're in the raid, when you're in heroics, when you're doing heroic bounties, you are a smart player. You wouldn't be watching this if you weren't a smart player. If you get close to a gold NPC in the raid, it ends badly. They will just whack you and put you down instantly, like in any heroic difficulty. So Ranger is every 5 meters you are away from the target grants 2% weapon damage. Now, I'm always beaming from a distance, always. So I don't know why I was sleeping on this talent, and I wouldn't say it's as good as Optimist, but it's definitely a great replacement when I can't unlock Optimist because I've got 8 offensive. So I will be rolling the Ranger over the Optimist. Now, this is where the build gets interesting. The only LMG damage I spec into is within the Specialist, but my LMG still hits at 31.4, which is amazing for hitting Boomer. Even though I can kill Boomer with my assault rifle, it's just nice to be able to switch to this weapon. It hits hard, considering I don't have any LMG damage on my gloves. Now, there's actually something wrong with this build. I'm actually running the new Specialist, and we can actually put the 50 rounds on, so you get the 150 rounds, which is insane. You can melt heroic NPCs easily with 150 rounds in the raid. me sidearm is just going to be a shotgun, nothing special really, but the only reason I use it is for the protective reload, because as you'll notice in me last raid build, I had the lullaby, so I was rolling with the evasive, but now I need to reload, so protective reload is by far the best talent. The actual mods on the guns, I'll just show you. I've got 8% damage to elites on the scope. I've got 5 on the muzzle. I actually run reload speed because I like to be in the action. I like to be firing as much as I can. But if you struggle with there's no recoil in this game really, so you shouldn't struggle, but you can swap that for stability. And then I'm lucky enough to get the plus 20 rounds. If you don't know how to get the plus 20 rounds, just do your daily projects, your blueprint ones, and hopefully you can get lucky as well. So the M60 has got the 8% damage to elites. I haven't actually got a damage to elites muzzle. I'm not sure if one exists. Maybe I'll have to look into that, but I'm using the stability anyway, 20%. And then I've got the stability on the underbarrel, and then like I say, I've got the plus 50 rounds, which is from the specialist, the new specialist. So onto the pieces. Now I'm running the R&K mask, and it's a really nice mask, to be honest. It's got the 40% damage to elites, which if I can increase it, if I can get a higher roll than 40, that'll be an absolute bonus. I've got the 38% hazard protection, which if you've ran the raid, you'll know that for the second boss, hazard protection is everything. If you have no hazard protection, you know, the bleed, it will wipe you out. And then also we have hard hitting. So in total on that mask, we have 48% hazard protection because you get 10% off the set, and then we have 50% damage to elites. So it's a really nice mask. Now the backpack, I run the 511 because I get the protection from elites. You know, it's 5. To be fair, like I say, I'm always honest with you guys, and I'll tell you if something's trash. I think protection from elites is trash in this game, because that's what I'm saying about this build. You know, it doesn't matter. When I first ran the raid, I went in with 400k armor, and them gold NPCs don't give a shit what armor you've got. They will melt you as fast as having 200k armor. It doesn't matter your armor. You want to be, you know, you want to be hitting hard. You want high weapon damage. So, like I say, protection from elites, I think it's garbage in the game, but it's a nice bonus. You know, maybe it might get buffed, but it does nothing in the raid. I don't feel like I've got any protection from them elites in the raid. Now I have a nice roll of 10.5% weapon damage. I think that was a backpack for sale in the vendor, if anyone picked that up. I think it was last week or the week before. We have just under 14k health, and then we have 16k armor, which isn't a bad roll really, 16k armor. Then we have 2 godly talents hardened for the armor, and then 10% damage to elite hard hitting. Now the mod we have on here, this is the first one of our offensive mods, which gives us extra 5% assault rifle damage, and also it gives us 1% damage to health, which is absolutely nothing really. So it's just for the 5% assault rifle damage. So yeah, that's a really nice backpack. I'm really happy with that. I don't need to make any changes unless I get anything higher with the weapon damage. I'll keep it as it is. Now the chest piece, you can easily get a better chest piece than me. Like I say, I don't want you to think this build is totally complete. There's no build in Division complete the way the RNG is, and how hard it is, and how much materials it takes to reroll. So it's not totally complete, this build, but I'm happy at where it's at. So the chest, you can get a better chest. It's got 18,500 health. It's got just under 18k armor, which you can easily get higher than 18k armor. And then it's got the 12.5 weapon damage. Now when I get some more materials, I am going to roll the weapon damage. I have got this chest piece with 13.5% weapon damage. I know it's only 1.5% extra, but I will roll that onto it when I get some electronics. Electronics is a nightmare for me. So yeah, we run it with Unbreakable. Like I said at the start, Unbreakable is everything. It's everything in the raid. It gives you an extra life. You have to be an absolute moron not to run Unbreakable, unless you're running like an assault rifle or LMG strain build. Now then you'd run Berserk, but if you're not running that, Unbreakable is the way forward. Now onto the mods. We have a 4% armor mod, which is nice. We have a offensive mod, which gives us an extra 5% assault rifle damage, and then the 1% damage to health, which is nothing, as I said earlier. Then the second defensive mod is a 3.5% armor mod. So yeah, that's I'm still looking for a better chest. Unfortunately I had to roll the weapon damage on that. I'd love to roll one of them. I don't think, yeah, one of these high armor percentage, like one like that, like a 30% armor, but I didn't get lucky, so I had to roll the weapon damage. So I will be looking for a new chest. Now the holster, this is where the damage comes from, because you get 2 offensive mods. So this is a really nice holster, I'm not going to lie, it's a nice holster, it's pretty god roll. So as you can see, it's the second piece of Gila, so we get an extra 20% hazard protection, which is ideal for the raid. Then we have the rolls of 9.5% health, and we have an absolute godly roll of 41,800 health, which if you look at me health roll, 122k, you know, it's, like I say, health, it doesn't make a difference in the raid. You're gonna get, you know, hit really hard, but it's still nice to have 122k health. It's still pretty high. Now onto the mods. We have one that gives us an extra 6.5% weapon damage in assault rifle, and then we have the second one which gives us an extra 6% assault rifle damage. So that's like 12.5% assault rifle damage just off the holster mods. This is where I'm saying this build is super hard hitting. Now onto the knee pads. I know a few people might run Gila knee pads, and I've always said this from the start, Gila knee pads are the best in the game because Gila give you 2 defensive mods. But for the raid, I like to have 2 talents, and Feminist is the only ones that come with 2 talents. I have a really nice roll of 11.5% total armor, and then I have the talents hard hitting and patience. Patience is key. Please run patience in the raid. You know, anyone who joins our raid team, the first thing we ask them is, are you running patience? And then secondly, you're not running berserk, are you? You're running unbreakable. So yeah, everyone should know by now patience is key, because you always should be in cover unless you're performing like a, you know, an action or something. So yeah, that's the knee pads, and they obviously give me the 10% extra assault rifle damage. Now this is where the build can get interesting. So the gloves I'm running at the moment is the 4% health and a 12% assault rifle damage, and we have devastating, which gives us 5% weapon damage. Now I also have these Providence gloves, which, forget the bonus, the brand set bonus, the skill power, because I don't have any anyway. If I can, I mean, I'd like to increase these to 12% assault rifle damage, but as you can see, these have the 10% damage to elites. Now that can make a massive difference, and I'll show you that in the stats at the end. So yeah, I did actually have some raid footage, but I don't really want to put it in this video because it's going to spoil a future video that I'm going to do on the raid. But I have got some footage for, because all I've been doing all week with it has been solo and heroic, and I've been doing level 4 control points. You know, level 4 control points can be quite difficult, and I've just got a few highlights from a level 4 control point. I was doing them all day solo, and I just want to show you what this build actually does to the golds, in that it makes it feel so easy.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles.
I can't see.
So yeah, you know, level 4 control points, they're an absolute breeze now. You can solo them no problem with this build, and you know, don't worry about the survivability. Honestly, with patience, and another good talent to run. I don't think I've actually got it. It's there's one that can reset your skills. And I think it must be in my stash. I think it's in Rhythm, I think it's called. And I've just dropped my microphone. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's actually called in Rhythm. You can actually put it on the sidearm, and that has a 5% chance. It feels like it procs a lot more, and that'll reset your skills. So that's another good thing for survivability. It's up to you what you run. You know, I run the Chem and obviously the Revive Hive. Now, like I said, I was going to show you the gloves. So, after doing a lot of testing, these Damage to Elite gloves make the build hit slightly harder. Not much, it's not a great difference, so don't worry if you haven't got Damage to Elite gloves, but they do hit slightly harder, and I'll show you exactly what the differences are. So, with these weapon damage gloves on, as we showed earlier, it's 26.6. Now, if you take that weapon damage away and put the damage to elites on, it lowers the damage of the weapon slightly to 25.8. But if you go to me stats, this is where it gets really nice. If you see, the damage to elites is 93%. And with the weapon damage you are doing on this build, 93% damage to elites is insane. And then, like I said earlier, let me just go back to the ones that I'm running. Yeah, so like I say, you know, it doesn't matter which ones you run. You know, the weapon damage ones are just as good. It's just a slight difference with the 10% damage to elites. But like I say, in the stats, you've got 31% all weapon damage and then 56% assault rifle damage, which gives you a total of 87%. Now, my little goal in this build is to hit 90% weapon damage on this build. And I can easily get it because I can increase the damage on my chest. I know that can come a lot higher than 12% weapon damage. I can possibly increase the backpack a little bit more. Then also another thing I said was key to the raid was hazard protection. Now, a few people have said in the comments, you know, they run a certain percentage of hazard protection, and I have tested it. I wouldn't go below 50% hazard protection, especially for the second boss. If you just want to put a build on that has hazard protection for the second boss in the raid, then that's fine. But the bonus of this build is you actually get over 50%, you get 68% hazard protection. So it's there for you. So yeah, they're the stats, you know. Massive weapon damage. I can't express how hard this build hits. It is ridiculous, and I'm so proud of this build because it is the best one I've ever made. So there's not much more to cover really. That is the build, and like I say, I am loving it. I am absolutely loving it. And I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you. You know, I'm not gonna say to you it does 8 million DPS in the firing range, because it doesn't. You know, this build is like you've seen in the clip of the level 4 control point. I'm not the greatest PvE player. You know, I don't hit headshots consistently because I'm on console. So this is for like any casual or any hardcore PvE players. It's an all-round build for anyone. You can stick it on and anyone can use it. And it's not just for the raid. I've been using this for clearing occupied landmarks easily, because it hits so hard, and occupied landmarks can be quite difficult. I've ran heroic missions, the invaded ones, and it's just perfect. Honestly, it's a perfect build for me. It's a perfect build. I'm sure in the comments there'll be a few people saying, you know, mine's better, but this is my baby, this is my build. I absolutely love it. So yeah, today's been a bit. I dropped my microphone. It's been a bit all over the place. As you know, I don't script my videos, and I'm kind of excited about this build. You know, where it's gonna go, and you know, farming for higher pieces like a better chest. Yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. Probably as I'm speaking right now, we have possibly just hit 14. Is it 14,000 subs? Yeah, I think. Is it 14? Yeah, I think it's 14. I don't even know myself. So I am over the moon with that. I am so thankful. I can't believe that there's so many people subscribed to my channel. So once again, you know, things have been hard for me lately. Mental health and anxiety, and this is my release, and I appreciate that, all the support that everyone gives me. So thank you so much. And I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. You know, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button because it really helps me out. And until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you later.